Oh, hi!
Can you hear Maggie panting?
100%. Like,
yeah.
she puts her input in as often as she possibly can. We love it, Mags.
Thanks for being here, Maggie.
Keep it up. Hi, hello. Welcome to the
Help
podcast. We are here today
with a special...
Yeah, go.
Oh, guest. And we're not talking about Maggie.
Oh, guest.
Okay, cool.
It's not Maggie. We're here with the wonderful, the lovely, the exciting, the beautiful Lauren Goldstein.
Oh, I'll take all of those words. Hey guys, thanks for having me on your podcast today.
Yeah.
You are our first guest.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, how do you feel?
I was driving over here and trying to remember how to speak words.
Sure, yeah.
So, how do you do it?
What's my name? I don't know anymore.
Help. Just help.
So are we asking for help? We telling people about help?
All of the above.
We're kind of like indirectly asking for help by
Mostly.
making this. Okay. So you out there? Anybody?
Anybody? Please. It's just that we need a lot of help to get through life
Okay.
in general.
Yeah.
Would you say the microphone is your therapist or that Colt is your therapist here?
Both.
Both.
We've actually just determined that everything we do is a form of therapy. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
Life is therapy.
Life is therapy.
In good and bad ways.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm for it. Let's
cool.
therapize.
Let's do it. So, last week's episode, we ended and we said that we were going to talk about school, but we're not really going to do that. It may come up briefly, but it's not actually going to be about school.
Yeah,
But that is what led to the idea of you coming on.
Oh, great.
Because we were discussing the podcast.
Yes,
and
we were. And I was telling you about how I found out I had dyslexia
Yes.
in 10th grade.
10th
grade?
That's so late. Yeah.
Although we had a friend recently who told me he just found out recently. And
Oh,
I think he's about 25.
Are you
I think
serious?
he's 27.
Yeah, so, it hits you at all
Confirmed.
parts in life, but it was I guess I'll just jump right into it.
Yeah.
In 10th grade, in 9th grade, I came home from English class one day crying to my mom. And I was like, I am either stupid or I'm dyslexic, but the boys are making fun of me in English class again. And girls probably. I guess let's not gender discriminate here. But it was really
Fucking
hard.
boys.
It doesn't feel good to feel stupid.
Sure.
So we went to a specialist. She ran a bunch of weird tests on me. Like a lot of cognitive stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like on a computer and
No,
you're
it
just...
was a lot of like paper tests.
Okay.
So I remember one of the tests, you had to they gave you letters and you had to spell words, but not the way they're meant to be spelled.
Okay.
You would just spell them phonetically with the letters you were given.
Oh, interesting.
So they would tell you a word that relates to apple, and maybe you would have to spell cider, but it would be SYDR or something weird like that. So
Interesting.
it's so there was a bunch of cognitive tests that they run on you, and I was mentioning to you guys before we turned the mic on so dyslexia is a cognitive processing disorder. So it can be like a melting pot of different things that are wrong with how you're processing words. So a lot of people will be like, oh, does that mean you flip your D's and your P's?
Yeah.
And a lot of people flip their numbers around.
Oh, okay.
I think mine is I just throw vowels randomly into words.
Okay.
And I'm really bad at reading words I haven't memorized. So I have a really vivid memory of being in my friend had a horse, so I went with her to a horse store of some kind, and looking at a word and being like, helmet. Helmet.
Okay.
Helmet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was just
it
you
takes
had
me 4 times to say it out loud, and you start to hear the word forming, but I can't really read the words well.
Okay.
On paper.
Interesting.
So that was a cool development. They with my SATs and stuff, they told me to to whisper to myself.
Oh, as you're taking the test.
As I'm taking the
The
test.
girl next to you
This
is
is
like,
like-
what the fuck is happening?
Because you have a voice in your head when you're reading.
Sure.
I'm sure, like, when you're reading, you've heard it, and my voice just isn't, like, loud enough. So it's easier for me to, like, read with an audio tape or, like, speak out loud while I'm reading. It takes me a little longer, but, yeah, it's, like, it's fascinating to think that my internal voice maybe isn't as strong.
Interesting.
As other people's. So it's, like, definitely still an issue in my life today, though.
Yeah.
Especially because I work in corporate America.
Sure.
And Slack. I don't know if people know what Slack is, but it's like a messaging platform that we use. So it's like you have thousands of messages. Just like sitting there waiting for you to read. Group messages are my worst nightmare.
Oh no.
And our friends in our improv troupe
all about group messages.
All about group messages, and I've had people. I'll just be out of the loop all the time. I came to class the other day. I didn't even know class was canceled.
No, you didn't.
I just showed up, and one of the guys was like,
"We're so glad for your dyslexia for that reason, because it would have been very sad if you didn't come."
He's like, "I ordered a pizza and class is canceled." I was like, "What do you mean class is canceled today?"
What's up with the pizza? I'm so confused.
I guess they were trying to do like a get together hangout instead of doing improv class. But I'm usually like, if it's in a group message, don't expect me to know.
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
I do great when people tell me like one-on-one what's
specifically
what's going on.
Sure.
So that's I guess that's like the gist with my dyslexia. I'm very welcome if you guys have any questions.
Okay, yeah. Steve, what is your I think you're the only person I know that has dyslexia.
Like openly
Well,
dyslexia.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm like confused. I'm like, should I go get a test? You know what I mean?
Dyslexic?
Because there's people living till 27 and they don't know.
That's true.
I don't know. I don't think I'm the smartest
Apple in the tree.
apple in the tree.
Cider, SYDR.
Yeah, well, I'm like, I was thinking I probably failed that. I was like, come again? What are you doing?
Can I have some help with this?
They don't
15 minutes later, you're on the first question still.
I'm like crying.
And they're like, yeah.
I do think everyone has something, right? Because
Sure.
our brains are so different.
Oh, yeah.
The stars are aligned in a different way when
Yeah.
we're born.
Yeah.
And we have siblings that fuck us up
Absolutely.
in different ways.
Yeah.
Parents that also fuck us
Yeah.
up.
So, and I had like, I had hearing problems when I was younger.
Okay.
I got a lot of
I did
ear
also,
infections.
same.
So that can actually lead to a lot of
Interesting.
Really?
yeah, because it's like
What you're
audio
hearing.
is a really big part of like the brain development process.
Uh-huh.
So if you're not hearing well, it affects like reading and learning.
Yeah.
So ear infections as a child can affect how you pick up things later in life. Yeah.
Interesting. I had a bunch of ear infections. Like, do you ever, when you go to the doctor now and they look in your ear, they're like, whoa, oh gosh, so much scarring.
No.
No, you're like, that's so
Did you have tubes?
I had 3 sets of tubes, and I had my adenoids taken out.
Me too.
Did you? Yeah. I was 5 on Christmas Eve.
But not my tonsils.
No, I still have my tonsils too.
Yeah.
Interesting. But I have like that was reading comprehension and like reading in English. What the hell Maggie is trying to get out? She's like trapped in a prison. Can you pick that up?
These people are talking about their first world problems.
And I'm just a dog. Let me out.
Yeah. The outside world's so calling her.
It is. But I like that was like my highest score on everything, and that's what I've always been really good at. So that's interesting.
Reading
and like words and
but
yeah.
math is not.
Math is
Math?
no go.
Really?
It's a no go for me.
What about
it's real
science?
bad. I'm okay with science.
Okay.
As long as there's not numbers in it. Like those number sciences.
Like chemistry, you're like, nope, I'm
yeah,
out.
I'm like hard pass on those.
Yeah.
Thank you. But that is interesting that can be a factor.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything's a factor in life these days.
Yeah,
That's why we're all anxious and depressed and whatever.
It's really struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, it's definitely interesting how something when you're a baby can affect the way you are.
So that would be my question is like, has your dyslexia, you say you still struggle with it now, has it influenced like any other like mental health things that you deal with?
Well, so I would say the cool thing about my dyslexia, because dyslexia is cool for anyone
That's
listening
right.
to
Yeah.
this. There's a really dope book I read,
Yeah.
listened to,
Listen to
Don't get it twisted.
Audible.com, audio that speaks to you wherever you are.
Not sponsored, but we would love to be.
Yeah.
It's called The Dyslexic Advantage.
Okay.
And it talks about how, like, maybe potentially, like, certain parts of your brain don't function well, so you strengthen other parts of your brain.
Sure.
Like, you probably heard, like, if you lose your sense of sight, maybe your sense of smell gets better, so it's kind of like the same thing. So I didn't find out I was dyslexic till 10th grade, because I used to get around I wouldn't read. And then in class, I would just ask a bunch of questions and, like, listen to what other people were saying.
And then it would make sense.
And then, like, gather what happened in the reading.
Okay.
By, like, listening to what everyone else was saying in the class.
And you're so good at asking questions.
Yeah. So I think that's why I'm such a curious person, because I had to, like, make up for
like honed that skill.
My lack of reading by like just leaning on other people, which ended up kind of like hurting later. I had to learn how to become more independent later in life.
Sure, yeah.
But up until 10th grade, it was like a great technique.
Yeah, that's like a great skill.
Because you could get by up until 10th grade with not reading. And then 10th grade, reading got really hard.
Like, you have to
high
read.
School, it was more like 9th grade is when the issues started coming out. And I think that's when like they started asking like real questions about
they make you think about it and like, what's the philosophical meaning of this?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not ready.
Yeah. And so I think that that's kind of where the technique broke down.
Yeah.
But it really helped a lot up until that point. And I think that's why I ask a lot of questions.
Sure.
Which hurts in improv. Because in improv, you're not supposed to ask questions. You're supposed to add to the environment.
Yeah.
So I'm working on myself.
It's really hard not to ask questions in improv. What the fuck is going on? Someone clarify this for me. Help.
So in improv, like, you're supposed to build a world together. And if you're asking questions to your partner, like, why did you do that just now?
It's never why. You can never ask why. You just have to be like, right?
Yeah, you have to be like, you threw my dog on the ground because you're mad about me eating your sandwich last night. Because you're building a world together.
Yeah.
So if you're asking questions, you're putting everything on the other person.
It just stalls out the scene.
Yeah.
Nothing's progressed at all if you keep asking questions.
Well, we can't do that in Meisner. We can't ask why. She's like, don't ask why. It just says steamy. I'm like, okay.
Okay, fine.
Why?
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 In design, there's a role called design researchers, and that's like a really big part when you're interviewing people to see, why they're doing things in their life. You're supposed to ask 5 whys and a how.
5 whys and a how.
Oh, good. So that's just confusing. You're like, I'm going to go to improv now, and I can't ask why anymore.
My whole life and all day.
Living 2 lives. One where you should ask questions, one where you shouldn't ask questions.
Identity crisis. That's what I'm saying.
Isn't it weird how improv, like, brings out all of your faults?
Being vulnerable in front of people.
That is freaking funny.
Not being good at thinking quickly.
Oh, God.
Or listening.
Yeah.
Listening. Oh, well, then obviously that's like your strong point, right? Since or would you just saying curious?
You would think that listening. I would say listening is my number 1 work in progress. I just listed so many work in progresses.
Girl.
If anyone's counting, I would say listening is probably
it. We're going to move that one to the top.
You ever find your brain buzzing so much you have no idea what's happening in the conversation?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Colt notices I do this a lot, and then all of a sudden I'll just bring up something random.
He's just like
nothing to do with what anyone else is talking about.
He's just in the corner just observing you, and you're like, oh, he knows the truth.
He's all knowing. Look at that.
He is.
Yeah.
He knows
Wisdom.
everything.
Young but wise.
Mm-hmm. He hides behind the beanie, but we know, Colt. We know. He's like red. He's like, what is going on?
I hate it here.
No, but I kind of want to take one of those tests now.
Yeah. Do they just offer those to the public, or is
I
there one online?
not think that they offer them to the public, but startup idea, guys.
I mean,
why do you need money to get
know.
tested? Yeah.
I also want to take an ADD test.
Yeah, but do you really want to know if you have ADD? There's certain disorders that I think life is just worth not knowing about.
Like ADD being one of them?
Yeah. Because, we all have some form of ADD, and if what's the benefit of your life going to be?
Adderall prescription.
Oh, yeah.
What? No, just me? Okay, cool.
Well, maybe an Adderall prescription, but like I don't know. I feel like that's a big conversation I have with myself a lot. Is do you ever want to be dependent on a drug to do life?
No, but that stuff really messes with your head too.
Yeah, I took some yesterday and had.
I did too, and that's why I'm not. Yeah, I was just like, dude, I shouldn't. I get depressed.
I have extreme anxiety.
Oh, I know. As if we don't have enough anxiety. It's like, I want to,
just amplifies it. But can I tell you the list of things that I got done?
We'd love to hear the list of things that you did yesterday.
Laundry, vacuumed, caught up on all my digital email
and that's
things.
all in the first hour.
I mean, I was 2 hours long, and I just got so much stuff done, and I was like, I love Adderall. And then I was like, I'm freaking the fuck out about everything.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to, like, I'm certain that I have, like, some level of anxiety or depression, but I don't want to get on drugs for it, because I don't want to have to depend on that.
Yeah, I think I get frustrated because our, like, Western society, we focus so much on, like, throwing pills at something.
Yeah.
That
I know.
There's not enough, like, how could you help your depression by eating better, working
Exercising,
out, getting the right amount of sleep?
Going to therapy.
No, people think when you say you go to therapy sometimes, have you ever got that look like, I'm so sorry?
Yeah.
You know, like you're like instantaneously like a charity case. You're like, I wasn't really asking for that, you know? Can you just, it's normal. It's normal to go to therapy and you're a healthy person. You want help.
I think
it's
you go get help.
You're working your brain out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think everybody could benefit from therapy.
Yeah.
100%.
I feel like that's a barrier that's hard for a lot of people to enter.
Yeah.
You know, like I personally have not done it yet, but I've thought about doing it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But it's all like finding the right doctor for you.
Exactly.
And like there's a lot of research I need to do.
Yeah.
Before pulling the trigger on that kind of
specific
stuff.
Yeah.
So you guys think therapies like benefit your life?
As long as you have a good therapist. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're sitting there and you're just like, this ain't gonna work out.
Yeah. I've only had one therapist.
You dating?
You do. I feel like
you have to have some sort of like connection, right? Like I'm not gonna sit here and have a conversation if I'm talking to a wall, you know what I mean? But I did have this lady, I sat down and I told her just a little background, and I swear, y'all, she had her notepad. She goes, daddy issues. And then I cringed.
Wait, did you bring them up, or she just...
I know, I was just like, I said something along the lines, like, I haven't talked to my dad in a while. She's like, daddy issues.
Yikes.
And I was like, this is the first time meeting you, and I cannot believe you just said that to me. I'm offended. And, like, from that point on, I was just like, brain dead. And I was
you weren't
like,
into it.
Yeah,
it's a bad date at that point.
Yeah, nobody wants that. You just met somebody and they're like, daddy issues.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? It's like horrible.
Did you find that in therapy that they put it on your family a lot? Is that something you see?
I put it on my family a lot.
Oh.
But I really do. I mean, probably she like made that suggestion to me, and that's what sent me down that like rabbit hole. But there is a lot of, and not specifically family, but just like messages you received, or like the way that my family was structured.
Right.
Like I was actually talking to Colt and Stevie earlier about how I'm horrible with conflict resolution, because my sisters were essentially like young adults by the time I was starting to have like opinions and feelings and things. And so I've never gone through, other than like with people, like with friends and stuff, but it still wasn't like that level that you get when you're so close in age to your like your siblings, where you're just going through conflicts regularly and resolving them. Like I don't have that because
like no one conflicted with you.
Yeah,
you were just alone conflicting yourself.
If there, exactly, or if there was a conflict, it was just something that I ended up like, because I was the youngest. It was like, oh well, it's my fault. Like I don't understand things.
Yeah.
I always like took it on.
You have such like a new perception of the world. You couldn't possibly have the right ideas.
And like, yeah, like these are the adults and they are the ones with the experience. So like, obviously this is me doing something wrong here.
Yeah.
So it's just, it is interesting to see like how those dynamics and like, but like you said.
How much of therapy do they give you to like not fix yourself, but like put on yourself to try to be better? Like, what percent of it is, like, family problems? What percent of it is, like, self-help?
I don't know if there'd be, like, a percentage.
I think
they just give you skills,
Yeah.
like, to, like, cope with things and to, I don't know, at the end of the day, you learn to kind of, like, accept yourself.
Yeah.
And leave there. It's like a safe haven to talk to somebody about
And
things that you wouldn't talk to normal people about. You're not like, hey, I have emotional problems today, Fred. It's really bad. You know, like, you just don't start a conversation with that, so you have that.
Yeah,
That's
that
cool.
person.
You leave with, like, methods of
Yes.
working. See, that's what I wish I had.
Yeah.
Like, a dyslexic support group.
Sure.
Or something.
I'm sure those exist.
And, like, people... Do they? I feel like...
Like a
Maybe I
Dyslexics
need to start,
Anonymous.
like, Googling, yeah.
Not
Come to
like
the
that.
podcast.
Yeah, we're here for you. We'll do your therapy.
It's interesting, like it's cool learning methods around, you know, how to be an adult in life.
Yeah.
And, like, move past the barriers that are blocking you
Yeah.
from feeling successful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think therapy too can be like, you could probably find, this might be a little bit niche, but you could probably find a therapist who deals with those types,
people
like
with,
that's
learning
exactly, and
disorders.
knows, because that's what, like, I've had the same therapist, and that's what I searched was eating disorders, like somebody who dealt with that, because that is where a lot of my stuff comes from or manifests itself in. So it's like, you find this therapist who has a niche of, like, what you're going through, so then they can, I think that, like, therapy can be whatever you want therapy to be. And if you need to go in and just, like, fucking vent about the shitty day that you had, and that's all you need that therapy session to be, then that's great, and you can do that.
Have you guys ever fell in love with a therapist?
I mean, I love my therapist.
Yeah.
I think she's very great.
I mean, mine was great too, but I have heard about people falling in love. And I've also heard, and this is going to be, like, random, but, like, if people, like, I've even heard that if people experience something traumatic in childhood, their brain has a problem developing and processing things throughout their life. So we have adults out there.
Frozen in time.
Frozen
Many.
in time, literally. Like, their brain isn't fully processed, which is trippy.
I think I've heard that too. Or
Yeah.
I heard something, I heard something kind of like that, but it was when famous people become famous, they get frozen at that age. Like, whatever age they become famous at, they're frozen
that
there.
makes sense.
Forever.
Interesting.
Think of all the child stars that end up with, you know, drug problems. and
Major
stuff.
problems.
That has to F with your head. Like, you're just, like, you're famous, and so you create your value on that for, like, 5 years of your stint on Disney Channel, and then you grow up and you're like, who am I?
Yeah.
If without that show.
Yeah.
And there's no, like, socializing with people your age. There's no, like, development in your maturity.
Yeah. Well, and people accept anything from you. They're like, oh, you're famous.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Yeah, you're like a demigod or something.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be too, you're famous, so, like, you've achieved all of this, and you're just supposed to be, like, happy and perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's the idea.
So maybe bringing it back to, like, the whole school vibe here.
Okay.
Us struggling through middle school and high school and college. I feel like college was a better place for me, though.
Okay, yeah.
Made us more functional humans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that.
Well, struggle, you know, as long as you come out on top, struggle's like a good thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And discomfort can be a great thing, like improv. The discomfort and working through it.
You can only grow if you step into the unknown.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you push those boundaries.
But let's not, like, go in the men's restroom and act like we own the place or anything. You
Why
know, there's
not?
boundaries.
We not
That's
doing
how
that
we-
after?
That's how we grow, Steve.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool.
This is Steve. We can be here too.
yeah. Just push me up to the front. Why don't you?
Do you think Colt will take us?
Cool. Will you take us to the men's restroom?
Sure.
Any
Great.
favorites?
We can join the club.
Where?
In Austin, any favorite men's restrooms?
You got any friends in there?
Favorite men's restroom. You could pick. They're all kind of gross.
They're all kind of
The one at the Grand is disgusting.
Ooh.
I don't think I've been to the women's restroom there.
Me neither. Let's just go to the
Take you
men's.
to the men's restroom at the Grand.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a date.
All right. Sounds good.
I hope that's the next date you go on.
In the men's
Men's
restroom at the Grand.
Yeah.
Gotta text somebody. Make these plans.
Next podcast is
live from the men's restroom of the Grizz.
Oh my god.
gosh.
Can we?
I want to do it.
What would
Let's
the
do
acoustics
it.
be like in
It
there?
sounds like a felony.
It does. I'm here for it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Like a person in the background doesn't want to be seen. They're like,
We just interview
This
people.
is a podcast. You can't be seen.
all of a sudden you just hear a toilet flush and they're like, why? Like, why are y'all in here?
This could be special episodes for you guys, like taking this to places you wouldn't expect a podcast to be taken to.
Pushing podcast boundaries.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
how we change the game.
It's all
What
about
if
the
Lady
sound
Bird
effects.
Lake
What?
on the Congress Bridge?
Yeah.
Right
During
before
the bats.
yeah.
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 Oh, that's so funny.
Ooh, Pflugerville.
Ooh.
Okay, I have a funny dyslexia story.
Let's hear it.
So, it was a date night. My boyfriend and I, we went to get some Thai food. It was a BYO restaurant. So alcohol is involved in this story. So red wine is like have you ever like pay attention to what liquors cause different reactions?
Oh, yeah, of course.
So too much red wine makes me cry.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like that's a common one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we split a bottle of red wine at the restaurant. We go back to my apartment and we turn on Narcos. And Narcos is like half English, half subtitles because it's Spanish.
Oh, I see.
And we're drinking more
Oh,
red
no,
wine.
you're not. No.
And at one point, like the subtitles are just going too fast. I'm drunk. And I just start hysterically crying.
Aww.
And I'm like, I'm never going to be able to read subtitles again. I can't read. And I had 3 male roommates at that time. And the next day they were like, we thought you murdered Mike.
No
You were cry screaming so loud. We thought you just straight murdered him. And I
And they
was
just
like,
stayed in their room.
I was like, none of you came to check on me? And they're like, no, we didn't want to get in the middle of that.
We didn't want
We
to
don't
know
wanna
what was
touch
going
that.
on there.
So I'm not allowed to watch anything with subtitles when I'm drinking anymore. It's like a rule.
Know your strengths.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Know your
So
boundaries.
no horror movies and no movies with subtitles in them. Probably normally, but definitely while drinking is not a good
Sure.
plan for me.
Sure.
Unless you're willing to read the subtitles to me.
Out loud. I am 100% willing to do that.
In
for you.
voices, like for the different characters.
Of course.
Yeah, so be prepared.
Because I'd be down for that.
Should we cue something up?
Yeah.
Do it as
Okay.
a troop. Everyone gets a different character.
Oh,
That would
this
be
sounds
so much
amazing.
fun.
Oh my gosh, we could like raise money for dyslexia.
Oh my gosh.
Just I don't think that anyone with dyslexia needs money for any kind.
Sure,
I don't know,
sure.
we put it towards
Maybe some programs for schools.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
We can live stream it. Yeah. Let's do that.
Get phonics hooked on phonics up again.
Hooked
Anyone
on phonics
remember
worked
that?
for
Hey,
me.
it was like on the Scholastic,
Book
Okay,
fair?
cool, guys.
We talked about the Scholastic Book Fair.
Yeah,
Did you
Scholastic.
guys have that? The book
That
fair
was the
that
best
came.
thing.
You get the magazine.
Best day of the year.
I was actually very excited about
Oh,
the
good.
Scholastic Book Fair. There's a lot of picture books at the Scholastic Book Fair.
I was gonna say, did you read? Did you like to read, or was it like before you realized, like, or you just avoided it at
Reading
all
is
costs?
the devil.
Okay, sure.
Our whole society is based on reading.
Yeah.
I want you to, like, for the rest of today,
Okay.
walk around and look at how much you have to read to, like, move forward in society.
Okay.
Because, it's all about text messages, email,
Subtitles.
books, yeah,
Signs.
subtitles.
Know where you're going while you're
Yeah.
driving.
Highway driving, when I first started learning to drive, was so hard.
Oh, no.
Because you're so focused on the driving part, like, I could not read the signs.
You're like, signs are not happening for me.
It's finally like second nature to drive, so reading signs
Sure.
is good. But yeah, that was extra difficult. For me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do that exercise for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I'll report back to you.
And don't read. Just like when you see yourself reading, stop.
Stop. Okay.
It's like when people are like trying to empathize with blind people, and you like blindfold yourself for a day. Just stop reading every time you notice yourself reading.
Okay. That's gonna be very hard.
I don't think. That,
Yeah, I don't even know because it's like instantaneous when you see something. You're like,
You just read it. Yeah.
Right. It just it's like straight.
Yeah.
I wish I had that.
Oh.
You just want to follow me around and read things.
I would.
For the
I would
day?
love to do that.
the narrator of your life,
That.
One of my favorite things that Allison, my roommate, has in her life that I think she was kind of embarrassed by it at first, but they call it, she probably doesn't want me to talk about this. Sorry, Al. They call it LOL, and it stands for Linda Out Loud, and they just go to a meeting place. It's like four or five people. They go to a meeting place, and Linda just reads books to them. And I think
who's Linda?
Her friend, our friend. And I think that's awesome.
How do you sign up for this?
Do you want to be a part of it?
Book event.
I'll send you Linda's info.
It's like what I feel like bookstores used to do this, right? They'd have like authors come in and read their books.
Yeah.
R.I.P. bookstores.
R.I.P. bookstores. Fucking Jeff Bezos.
Is he the reason we don't have bookstores anymore?
Yeah.
He's the reason that we don't have stores.
Stores.
5 years from now.
Have you seen the new headphones Google came out with?
No.
Where this technology's been around for a while, but it live translates in your
Oh,
ear.
I've heard about that.
Wait, what?
I am so excited to be in a conversation with someone who has these headphones on, and us to have a conversation.
That will be very cool.
Like, the future's here.
Yeah.
Is
No,
now.
man, all the linguists in the world are freaking out
They're
right now. They're like,
pissed.
there goes my college degree.
These
Jesus.
fucking Google headphones.
Do you think you can, like, choose the accent you want it to read to you in?
Yeah, maybe you want a female, maybe you want a male.
Australian.
Always a male Australian.
Yeah,
You know that's what I'm picking every time.
I want a woman's voice to come out as a male Australian in my ear.
Me too.
I feel like a grandma voice might be comforting.
Ooh, a grandma voice.
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
very
You're
fun.
like, oh, whatever you say, Granny. Whatever you say.
I mean, you would never need to learn language in school ever again.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if this is a good thing or bad thing. Like, are people going to become lazy because everything's just so technologically
That's the
advanced?
question.
Or will you be able to focus on the things you love?
Yes.
Because in
Will you
my
have
opinion,
more capacity?
yeah, like grammar is one of the most useless things I think we have in the world.
Spelling.
I love spelling.
Spelling.
Spelling and grammar. I actually had a I'll call it a conversation, but in my insides it felt like a fight with someone at work recently about the twos. 2, and 2.
Oh yeah, those are hard. Like
So-
TWO,
Like the number
TOO,
2.
TO.
Yeah. And I was like, out of all of the words that you have like 3 different ways of spelling that word, I think that one is the most, I think TOO is the most stupid, frivolous word, and we should just cut it out of the dictionary. Because it's hard to know when to put it in.
Yeah, I overuse TOO, I think. I use it in place of TO on accident a lot.
Like going to the store.
I'm going to go to.
Going to go
Is
to.
only TO and TO. I had a fight with someone. They were like, you can't end a sentence in a preposition. And I accepted that because I'm horrible at grammar. And that was happening on a Friday. And I was stewing about it for 2 days. And finally, to my boyfriend, I brought this up because I felt stupid that I was thinking about it. And he's like, no, you can... This isn't like in the 1980s or
This
like
isn't the Shirley
1800s.
method.
Yeah, you can end a sentence in a preposition these days. Preposition. So I Googled it and he was wrong.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out how to bring it up at work.
You're trying to find segues. They're like, how's the coffee? You're like, me too. And they're like, speaking of too. Like,
Yeah, did you do it super passive
I
aggressively?
didn't do it. I was
Oh,
like, there's I'm kind of like above this person. And I was like, if I bring this up, it's petty. I have to just swallow it.
Know that you're right.
Hope he hears this on the podcast.
Exactly.
And move on with my life.
This
It's
is
like-
why we started the podcast.
Indirectly talk to the people we're angry at.
100%.
just send him this specific episode over email. He's like, what is this?
Oops. Sorry, wrong link.
Sorry. Didn't mean to email that to you 5 times.
The link with the specific moment
Time.
where we're talking about this. Oh, I didn't mean to send that to you. But
Sorry.
Yeah.
while you're there, can you just jump to 40 minutes and 30 seconds?
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
That is fun.
But in a preposition.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope grammar goes away.
Okay,
That'll
let's
soon.
wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
This has been fun. I liked
Yeah, it was.
this.
It was a good dynamic.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me chit chat with you guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks
We're
for
glad to
bringing your
have you.
Gemini self over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got all the personalities.
Yeah.
Maggie's getting...
Maggie wants to do the sign off. You want to try it?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. We're stealing directly from My Favorite Murder, but we're making it our own, and that's what creativity is, right?
Taking other
Like the
people's
mundo.
ideas.
And claiming it as your own.
Yes.
Just kidding.
Okay. Thanks for... Do you want people to follow you? We can plug your shit.
Oh yeah, okay. I got 2 things I love people to follow me on.
Okay.
Mike and Lauren Make a Pano
Yes.
is my Instagram account with my boyfriend where we make panoramic pictures together.
It's very great.
That's
I love
really
it.
cute.
It's at Mike and Lauren Make a Pano,
It's
right?
Mike and Lauren Make a Pano.
Like
if you
Mike,
forget,
M-I-K-E?
Yeah, it's like Zach and Miri Make a Porno. That's what it was based off of.
Sure.
Cool.
There's only clothed people in it as of now. And Live Laugh Lauren, if you want to follow my Instagram that I never ever post on. So
I love that.
Perfect. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this damn sign off. We're classically bad at saying goodbye.
Goodbye.
Just in general. Maggie,
Bye. You just shut the door. Bye.
Bitch, see ya. That's why typically Irish goodbye. That's my favorite move. Sit. Okay, thanks for listening, guys. Maggie, do you love me? Good girl.
Yeah, have a good one.
Okay, thanks for listening to us, guys.
Yes. If you want to give a shout out or just reach us.
Yeah, or send in like a topic you want us to bullshit on.
Yeah. Our email is helpthepodcast@gmail.com. And our Instagram is...
It is at The Help Podcast.
At The Help Podcast.
And you can search Facebook, The Help Podcast. We're on there as well. And you can find all of our episodes on any major podcasting platform.
Yes.
iTunes, Stitcher.
Or if you get confused, just email us. We'll help you.
We'll send you the link, girl. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, guys.
Y'all have a good one.